Keegan Matheson of MLB.com joins us now. So, Keegan, Jose Berrios' absence was a strange twist to the Jays' World Series run, and Berrios spoke to the media today for the first time since last season. How would you describe what you heard from him?
Glad we finally heard from Jose today, because for the last 3 or 4 months, all we have known and all we've had to work with was that he wasn't happy, and that's not much. So we heard from Jose today, and he explained and apologized for why he did leave the Blue Jays during the World Series last year. He was rehabbing, he was not going to pitch, he was on the IL, but he wanted to be with his family at that point back in Puerto Rico. Now, the other option was to bring his family back to Toronto, but his 3 kids are in school. He did not want them to miss school, so he decided to go back to Puerto Rico at that time. Now, he called that a mistake multiple times and apologized for that multiple times. This is not a great scandal, but it's like one of those situations where someone says it's not what you said, it's how you said it. It's how this happened that I think is the issue both for the Blue Jays, and Berrios recognizes that now. He told us that he had told some of his Latin teammates, some of the teammates he's close with, but that means he had not told everyone. This did not happen the way it should have happened, so those apologies were necessary and they've happened at this point, but it still felt like that one sore thumb from last season where everything else was positive. Surprising for Berrios to be the one that has the negative story, but he's addressed that and multiple times today apologized, both publicly and to his teammates.
Okay, so these sound like good things. Everyone's saying the right things. But, Keegan, do you think both Berrios and the rest of the Blue Jays have moved on from this, or do you think there's some lingering fallout here?
I think they'll move on. I think tomorrow or next week or a month from now, something else will go wrong. Time will move on, and baseball is the ultimate sport of things going wrong, of failure and adapting to that day to day. John Schneider, when we spoke to him today, he said that on both sides there were things that could have been done differently, but he's right when he says that the Blue Jays were focused on winning a World Series. There comes a certain point of the season where you're not focused on keeping everybody as happy as possible every day. You're trying to win. That's where the Blue Jays were. So he says that as baseball players, they will move past this. That will be easier when we see them in games. But Berrios is still the pitcher who for 10 years has been one of the most consistent and predictable pitchers in Major League Baseball. He's La Máquina, the machine. He's their Roberto Clemente nominee from last year. These things do not go away because of one bad issue and one awkward moment at the end of last year. But for the first time in a long time, Berrios will need to prove himself again. It's been a long time since he's had to do that in the big leagues, but it's going to keep going. This will carry into the season. This is a good start.
Okay, well, yeah, hopefully everyone just learns from this experience and moves on. And, you know, Keegan, it's hard to believe we're just over a week away from the Jays opening their spring training schedule.